Welcome back. And in the last episode, we talked about why guilt can feel so intense after you say no or set a boundary, and how it's often a sign that you're breaking an internalized rule and not doing something wrong, even though it really feels like you are doing something wrong. And we did a somatic reflection to help you start tuning into what your body might be remembering in those moments, what that guilt might be sort of saying or trying to protect you from, to help you uncover and understand which rules you might have been following or have been imposed on you in the past, often without you realizing it. So in today's episode, we're going to move from understanding to noticing and changing. So doing something about it, to let go of these rules. So I'm going to walk you through some reflective prompts and a simple but powerful practice to help you rewrite those rigid internal rules and create something that's a bit more realistic and flexible. Because the goal isn't to go from people pleasing to being completely cold or uncaring, never doing anything for anyone, and just thinking of yourself. It's about making time for yourself whilst still making time for others. It's about being able to consider yourself as more or even just as much as you consider others. It's about knowing that you can say no and still be kind. So for this episode, you might want to grab a notepad and a pen, make some notes on your phone if you need to, whatever helps you follow the process that I'm going to talk you through. And also, hopefully you've listened to the previous episode about this and you're able to revisit wherever you wrote down your rule that you discovered and uncovered last time. So what was the old rule you were living by? Maybe it was, if I say no, then I'm selfish. If I rest, then I'm lazy. If I upset someone, then I'll lose them. If I put myself first, then I'm a bad person. You might find that more than one of those resonates, or you might have discovered different rules. But for this exercise, just choose one of your own rules and word it in a way that feels true for you. So I know I'm giving examples there, but word it in a way that feels true for you. And now let's start gently asking yourself the following questions and jot down whatever comes to mind. Where and when did I learn this rule? Where's it come from? I'm not going to leave massive gaps of me not talking on this, by the way. Just pause it whenever you need to. Who taught me this explicitly or through how they responded to me? Who taught me this rule? It might have been more than one person as well, by the way. It might have been in different settings or at different times of your life. What might have been going on in that person's world at the time? How has this rule helped me? Did it help me avoid punishment? Did I earn praise from following it? Did I feel safe and accepted or connected? Did I feel loved by following it? And now ask yourself, in what ways has this rule held me back? How is it unhelpful today? What does it stop me from doing? How does it influence the choices I make or don't make? What behaviours, thoughts, or feelings are rooted in this rule? How does this rule impact me in those areas, in my behaviours, in my thoughts, in my feelings? And read the rule back to yourself and ask yourself as you do, would I impose this fixed rule on my child or my friend or someone I deeply care about? And if not, why not? What is it about it that makes you think, no, I wouldn't? And remember, you don't have to erase the old rule completely, but consider what would it be like to soften it or to tweak it or to adjust it into a more flexible guideline. So I'll give you some examples, well, a couple of examples, but if your old rule is, if I say no, then I'm a bad person. An example of a guideline would be, I can say no when I need to and still be a kind person. If an old rule is, if I rest, then I'm lazy, the new guideline could be, it's okay to rest, it helps me function and show up fully. It's not selfish, it's necessary for me and for other people. So write your new guideline down, however you want to word it, whatever feels true to you. Although I shouldn't say that because it might not feel true right now, but just notice how it feels. Does it bring any sense of relief that, oh my God, I could have a new guidelines like to live by? Or does it make you feel uncomfortable? Everything that you're noticing and feeling like is completely valid. Like I say, it's all information. Letting go of old rules that you have been taught and that have become almost hardwired into your nervous system at one point. It can feel unsettling. And that's not because it's wrong to let go of them. It's because it's, these rules have been so familiar. You've lived with them for a long time and they've shaped how you navigate the world, how you see yourself, how you see other people, how you relate to others, to the world and to your own needs and wants and other people's needs and wants. They've guided you for so long that no wonder you probably feel like a mixture of things right now. And when things are unfamiliar anyway, our nervous system feels that that's like a threat to us or potential threat. So it can make us feel even more anxious initially before it learns and gathers evidence that, actually this is safe enough. So take a moment and let's visualize it. Let's imagine this new guideline that you've written. Read it back to you. Wow, imagine if you truly lived by it. What would change? What would be different in your life, in other people's lives? How would your days feel? What would you do more of? What might you stop doing? Would you finally go to that yoga class you've been meaning to try? Would you open that meditation app you downloaded months ago? Would you say no to something that's been getting you down? Would you set limits on the things keeping you awake at night? Would you feel more present for the people you care about? Would you feel physically lighter? Would your shoulders relax? Would you feel less tense and more able to have a moment to yourself without feeling like you should be doing something, without checking your to-do list or worrying, you've forgotten something? Being able to switch off because you don't feel guilty. If this new guideline had been given to you instead of the old rule, how would it feel to take time for yourself? Like half an hour alone, like choosing to read in the evening instead of watching that Netflix show your partner prefers. If this new guideline became so familiar that it was just operating without you really being conscious of it, just felt right, how would you know things were different, things had changed? How would you know emotionally, physically, relationally, socially, or cognitively? What would others see? How might others notice the change in you? And ask yourself, where would be a good place to start acting in line with this new guideline? Something small and manageable, by the way, nothing nothing that, makes you feel worse initially. Something small and manageable that's going to give you that sense of oh, yeah, I can do this. It might be letting yourself sit down for 15 or 10 minutes after work before rushing to tidy up or make dinner for everyone else. It could be leaving messages unread until you've finished what you're doing and going back to them. It could be resisting the urge to offer extra help at work when your manager seems stressed to you. And when you do these things, when you start, tweaking and changing your behavior, when the guilt or fear creeps in, because it will, especially at first, but you don't have to push it away because it's not saying you've done something wrong, remember? Instead, just pause and notice it, acknowledge it, and be curious about it. And remember what we did in last episode about this, feel it in your body. Acknowledge where it's really coming from. And then, like I say, meet it with that curiosity and that kindness of oh, you're protecting me. Instead of criticism, instead of oh my God, people tell me I should set boundaries and I can't. Just notice it and say to it, I see you. Thank you for trying to protect me. I know this feels scary right now because you're remembering how it felt in the past, that you were made to feel you were in the wrong, that you were doing something wrong by having needs and wants. You're remembering that it didn't feel safe to put yourself first or to do something for you. But it's safe enough now to try something new. We're allowed to honour what we need, and it's okay. And notice your reaction to me even guiding you through that. Maybe it feels awkward. Maybe you're thinking what the hell is she talking about? Maybe you're quite open to this. Whatever it is, maybe there's real resistance to going there and doing this. If you feel like you can't even attempt it, or there's no words, or it feels really unnatural, it's all valid. don't dismiss it. It's telling us all, it's always, everything that we're noticing is telling us something. It's giving us information that we can use to understand what's going on at deeper level, what certain things are trying to protect us from, or ways and patterns that we've learned along the way. And the more aware we become of that, the more we can get clear and get clarity on what has shaped us and what continues to shape us and what's keeping us stuck and how we can then move forward. And as I say, if you do struggle to speak even remotely kindly to yourself, I would say to consider what you would say to someone you love. You know, what would I say to a loved one, my child, a friend, my partner? What words would I use if they were feeling the guilt? What tone of voice would I be using? Would it be critical? Would it be like shouting at them? Would it be like berating them? Would it be reinforcing the guilt, or would it be trying to take the guilt away? Would it be reassuring and compassionate and kind? Just allow yourself, even if you don't feel like you're saying those words to yourself, just allow yourself to say in your head what you would say to a friend. And with this exercise, you might want to write that new guideline down somewhere you can see it. Because if you think for years you've lived by the rule and now we're trying to adjust that rule into a guideline, you need the constant reminders of it. So put it on a sticky note, post-it note, whatever, save it in your phone, screenshot it, whatever you need to do, get it coming up on reminders. So anything you can refer back to guide you as you navigate this new way forward. And if you find it too overwhelming to adjust your rules, if you're struggling to even identify what the rule is, please know that it's okay. Like, it's not uncommon. Doesn't mean something's wrong with you or that you can't do something or you failed at this exercise that I've spoken, talked you through. If anything, like during all my years, like my 25 years of studying psychology, neuroscience, attachment, and 15 years of supporting people through their difficulties, I have learned just how deeply ingrained these patterns often are. It's not uncommon. And unlearning them is rarely about simply changing things on the surface or using one exercise to get rid of the guilt. If it was, we'd all just follow the advice from influencers that we see on social media, wouldn't we? Those people that tell us to just say no or just let them be upset with you. Don't worry about it. Only being human, we're that simple. And we're not. We are complex, aren't we? So just because we know the logic, we might understand the theory, we might get it, doesn't mean we feel it. That's why I incorporate all of my training and knowledge and experience to combine proven cognitive, somatic, relational, emotional, behavioural change strategies. So you don't just change how you think about yourself or other people or the world. You go deep enough to actually feel that change. And if you'd like to find out more, or you want support to rewrite the rules, or you want to get clarity on stuff, whatever it is, please feel free to get in touch. And together we can discover what you need to start living life more on your own terms. And I love supporting people through this, having been there myself and getting to a place now where I've been in this place for quite a few years now, but, being able to allow myself space to say no or to say yes to myself without feeling guilty and still knowing I am a kind person, a good person and considerate. Both of those things can exist together. I really hope that this episode has been a helpful starting point for you. Wherever that starting point is, I hope it's been helpful. So thank you for listening or for watching if you're on YouTube, and I will see you next time.